If you see one or more of the following red flags in an ICO, don't invest. The first one being missing documentation. If an ICO is missing key documents such as the white paper or a roadmap, well, that's a huge warning sign, because you can actually not know anything about the project and who will run it. Fake websites. Now, while this is not the fault of an ICO you're analyzing, it's still a very popular scam. So what happens is that the scammer makes a complete replica of the ICO websites, and all the details are exactly the same, actually copy-pasted, except one thing, which is the ICO address where you transfer your funds. So the scammer substitutes that address with their own address. So that means if you transfer your funds to this address, you actually lose your funds. So your best bet, your safest bet, is to actually bookmark the real website and thus save your funds. Thirdly, we have the confusing white paper. Now, this doesn't mean that the white paper should not be detailed or technical. No, the white paper should explain everything, but there are a lot of white papers out there of different ICOs which explain many things, such as, let's say, a blockchain or what are cryptocurrencies, but don't put it in a context where they explain what they are trying to do with their own project. Now, this is a huge red flag and something that investors should be very cautious of. So they need to, or you need to, read the white paper very carefully, and you need to understand what are they trying to do. The fourth point being, does it make sense that it's on a blockchain? Now, is the ICO actually trying to solve something, or are they just jumping on the blockchain train just because it's hot right now? You need to understand that blockchain is really a buzzword right now, and people are just throwing on ideas just because it makes it so much more attractive for the investors. Now, investors should be very cautious and read the white paper and all the documents very carefully, just so they understand, or do you understand, does the idea make sense that it's on the blockchain? Fifth point, anonymous team members. Now, this is a huge red flag. There are a lot of ICOs out there that don't disclose their team members. But actually, you're trusting these team members, you're trusting these random persons you actually don't know with your own money. And you need to know who is behind the project. Are they capable of developing it and running it in the future? The next thing to pay attention to is whether the team members are qualified and experienced in their line of business. Also, there are big celebrities out there that endorse certain ICOs, but this shouldn't be the sole reason to invest immediately. You need to understand that these people, in a lot of instances, get paid very well. So you need to make sure that these people will stick with the project and help it, contribute it in the development in the future. The next red flag is no hard cap. Now, this one is very short and simple. What this actually means is that the team members don't have a developed business plan. Plus, they didn't do their own analysis of their own project. So they don't know how much money they actually need right now and in the future. But the second situation, and this one is even more important one for you to understand, is that the team members are money grabbing, meaning they just don't want to have a hard cap because they just want as much money from the investors as possible. The next red flag, we have the large token allocation to the team members. Now, this is actually sticking with the previous red flag we had. So what this means is if the team members have a large allocations of all the tokens they are distributing to the public, let's say a healthy ratio is somewhere between 10, maybe 20-25%, but more than that, the team members need to have a good argument why they need so much money in their pocket right now. The next red flag is not having a vesting period. Now, this means that the tokens that are distributed to the public or the tokens that the team members get can be sold immediately in the market. Now, for the team members, what this means is actually it doesn't show any confidence that they will stick with the project in the long term. And for investors, if they don't have the vesting period in place, means that once the tokens start trading in the market, they can simply dump the tokens immediately, meaning that the price will dump as well. Lastly, let's talk about the bonuses, airdrops, and bounties. And these three are really popular in many ICOs right now. And they are great because they engage the community. But the problem becomes when the ICO is promising large bonuses to the investors, just because it doesn't show the sustainability of the project in the future. Now, there is also a high chance that there are gonna be pump and dump strategies from any private investors as well. So investors should really be cautious of these large bonuses. So this is the end of our ICO video series. Also, make sure to check the earlier videos and stay with us, subscribe, and also let us know if you have any interesting topics that you would like us to share in our next video. Thanks guys, cheers.